I'm Mike Sargent, and this is Arise on Screen.
Why me?
I followed your whole career. I guess I felt like I knew you.
In this week's reviews.
You think he's innocent, don't you?
My whole reputation's on the line.
Don't give up on me.
Are you really going to be the man who might set him free?
In the new psychological thriller True Story, James Franco is Christian Longo, an accused murderer who assumes the identity of his favorite newsman, New York Times journalist Mike Finkel, played by Jonah Hill. In the cautionary sci-fi tale Ex Machina, it's man versus machine when the CEO of a tech company recruits a brilliant young programmer to evaluate the most advanced android ever conceived.
Are you attracted to me?
We sit down with stars Oscar Isaac and Alicia Vikander.
This time it ain't just about being fast.
It's one of the 20 highest-grossing movie franchises of all time. And even after the untimely death of lead actor Paul Walker, the latest installment has made over $850 million worldwide. We take a look back at the franchise phenomenon, The Fast and the Furious. All this and more on Arise on Screen. Hello and welcome to Arise on Screen, your global home for films both on screen and behind the scenes. So let's get to it. First, with this week's box office winners. Furious 7 tops the box office this week, followed by The Longest Ride, Home, Get Hard, and The Woman in Gold rounds it out in 5th place. And in festival news, the 13th annual Tribeca Film Festival kicked off this week in New York City, where 97 films will be screened, including 64 world premieres. Documentaries in the lineup include Mary J. Blige, London Sessions, and The Birth of Sake, where we get to see the 2,000-year-old art of making the Japanese spirit. And finally, this year the festival celebrates the 25th anniversary of Martin Scorsese's gangster classic, Goodfellas, and closes the festival with a panel discussion with original cast members. The Tribeca Film Festival runs until April 26th. Today I'm joined by film critics Justine Browning and Jerry Karakaya. Welcome both of you. Glad to have you here. But before we get to our main films, let's talk about Goodfellas. The film stars Joe Pesci, Ray Liotta, Lorraine Bracco, and Tribeca Film Festival co-founder Robert De Niro. Let's take a look.
Hey, Jimmy, what's right is right. You understand what I'm talking about?
It's all right, it's all right.
No, I mean, the kids over here, we're hugging and kissing over here, and 2 minutes later, he's acting like a jerk.
No. You insulted him a little bit. You got a little out of order yourself.
No, I didn't insult him. I didn't insult
Insulted him a little bit.
No, I didn't insult nobody. Give us a drink.
Give us a drink, okay? Come on, let's have some drinks, all right? Drinks on the house. Come on, let me...
You have to drink with me.
No.
Back him up.
Billy. No. Drinks around the house.
Widely considered one of director Martin Scorsese's best films, Goodfellas has become a classic. And I've read that some people believe this movie should have won an Oscar, and it's Scorsese's best film. Do you think it redefined the genre?
It was notoriously robbed of an Oscar. Dances with
Notorious.
Wolves. Yes, one of the biggest snubs in Oscar history. It should have won Best Picture and Best Director. And it was snubbed for Dances with Wolves. And people look back on this, especially film students and the educators in the industry, as sort of a gold standard of how to make an innovative, interesting, and exciting movie where all the elements just come together.
You don't think it's just how to make a gangster movie? Because it's
It
really
reinvented the gangster
I agree
film.
with that. Yes,
The
it
way
did.
it starts in the middle and then works its way back. A lot of the scenes, for instance, the cabana scene where they enter the restaurant and there's that long pan.
Well, the
all of
cinematography, I
things.
think, is astounding. Now, what about you? Do you think that this should have won the Oscar and that it redefines the genre?
Absolutely. I agree with Justine. I mean, it's epic that it's one of the best gangster movies of, I don't know,
of
all time. I'd like to say the acting was phenomenal, the direction was phenomenal, the cinematography was phenomenal.
And the quotable dialogue. Come on.
Joe Pesci and Ray Liotta, hands down. They both should have won Best Actors if they could have. But
I think it probably would have changed Ray Liotta's career if he had won the Oscar back then.
You know what, though? It put him on the map. And to this day, he's so memorable for that character that he played. And it doesn't feel like it's been 25 years.
Not
it
at
feels
all.
like yesterday since,
I know, I
I
must
saw
have
that
been
film.
5 when I saw it. All right. Well, we'll have more about this week's movie reviews when we come right back. Up next.
You're an outcast.
That's not the man I wanted to be.
None of us is the man he wants to be.
Based on a true story, a disgraced journalist is drawn into a cat and mouse game with a man on the FBI's most wanted list. James Franco and Jonah Hill star in True Story. Next, here on Arise on Screen.
I believe we're dealing with an exceptionally dangerous man.
You had a choice of so many stories to tell, and you chose his.
Actually, he picked me.
He didn't pick you. He used you.
We think he's part of some bigger game plan.
This isn't just about me.
Based on the memoir by New York Times journalist Michael Finkel, True Story stars Jonah Hill, Felicity Jones, and James Franco, who plays Christian Longo, a man accused of murdering his wife and 3 children and hid his identity. Welcome back to Arise on Screen. Now, I have to say, this was a film for me that surprised me because of the leads. They both have such, as you pointed out, Jenny, such a long career playing these kinds of characters that are not, or the kind of characters you don't expect them to play. They don't play dark characters. They play comical characters or even caricatures of themselves.
Yeah, yes.
So I was surprised at how good this movie was and how good their performances were. But you felt the same way?
Well, I was really compelled by the story. I mean, it is a fascinating look, and not only the journalism industry, right, but the dynamic between these two men whose lives parallel, though so vastly different, that comes across in these very simple ways early on in the film. I was really pulled in right away. But I think I would have liked to have explored the story in a different way. It does focus on the relationship between these two men, but I would have liked to have seen more about Mike Finkel's practices as a journalist, how the industry sort of spit him up and, or ate him up and spit him back out, and how he had to work his way back to public and professional favor.
Well, I have to say, though, but I thought that's what I thought made this movie work, is that, he did something in his career that other journalists have done, where he did what he thought would sell better, and it was not, and it disgraced him. But then he was really desperate for redemption, which is what made him vulnerable to the character that Franco played.
He tried to win his way back.
Yes, he did.
By doing something that was not really ethical by a lot of, by the standards of a lot of people
Especially
in the industry.
by profiling a murderer.
Exactly. But I thought that the cinematography and the direction, personally, I think that they were well executed. And I have to say that Jonah Hill's and James Franco's, their performances were very commendable because, like you said, they portray these really funny characters or, parodies. And to see them own these roles, these dark characters, and to, deliver in such a way that makes them believable, it takes a lot of skill. And I mean, Jonah Hill for sure has proved his acting chops.
You're right. And I have to say, for me, casting Franco as this character, and you don't know whether he did it or he didn't do it, I think that worked really well because Franco's a very likable screen presence. And you know that in real life they have a friendship. So I thought that played. You didn't really know what their relationship, how are they similar? Why did he pick him, to pretend to be him? And to me, that worked. I think you didn't feel as strongly about it.
I really came away being so impressed by Felicity Jones, and she's so underused in this movie. But I think the scene where she confronts Christian Longo and
powerful scene.
Calls him out for his manipulation, I think in part is so powerful, yes, for the performances, but Rupert Gould, the director's background, in Shakespearean theater, I think the staging of the scenes and the handling of these powerful themes does come across so well because of that background. So that's
I think you bring up an interesting point too, because I think though she didn't have a lot of screen time, she was a very effective character, and because she's not caught up in trying to redeem herself or fool somebody or anything, she could see right through the James Franco character.
She was a great supporting actress in that film, and I think she did shine in the small parts that she did have. And I want to agree with you in terms of the story itself. It could have been a little bit more enticing, and I didn't come away from it feeling satisfied. Yeah, I needed more closure.
All right, well, we're going to go to our next film, which some of you may feel some of you being YouTube may feel that's the same problem. Our next film is a drama called Alex of Venice. It's about a workaholic attorney played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who's forced to reinvent her life after her husband suddenly leaves her. The film co-stars Derek Luke, Don Johnson, and first-time director Ex Machina.
Party's here.
Oh my God.
Daddy told me what happened. Men are such all of them. Dakota, you look like a grown man. Come here.
We're late for work.
It's Sunday.
She always works on Sundays.
I love you. Am I ever gonna have sex again?
We're gonna find somebody.
What do I say?
We'll be like, hey, what's up? I've only had sex with one person.
Now, this is another movie I think that we can all agree where the performances are what make this film. Now, I think, Jenny, I think you like this film more than Justine did. Why? Why did you like this film? Why did it work for you?
Actually, but one of the things that I really liked were the performances. I thought Winstead was really wonderful in her,
And
portraying.
she's an underutilized actress.
I'm sorry, yes, she is underutilized, and she gave this incredible performance as a strong woman who has to build her life back. And Ex Machina, I think, did a really nice job as a first-time director. And, he did dip in and out of the film. But, I think that for the first time, he did a very commendable job. The story itself, I didn't find exciting or compelling. And, a lot of it reminded me, it was reminiscent of a Noah Baumbach film. And, of course, Ex Machina was also in Greenberg. So maybe, he was influenced by this style of filming. But, overall, I found it a little bit sad. And I know that the underlying message is supposed to be positive.
Now, wait, I have to ask you, Justine, because you felt you were impressed by how Messina kept himself out of the spotlight.
Absolutely. I mean, this is an actor who could have made this a vanity project. He appears in the first part of the film, and I was really shocked that he stepped away and really focused on the female perspective and let Mary Elizabeth Winstead shine. She's been kind of underutilized, as you said. She did a fantastic job and smashed. I think that was incredible. To actually handle the themes, a woman who's balancing motherhood, trying to save her relationship, trying to deal with her father, and a great performance by Don Johnson.
Okay, well, out of these two films, would you recommend both? Would you recommend?
Yeah, I would.
Okay,
yeah.
And you too?
I would recommend it as a stay home and, watch it on a sunny, or I'm sorry, rainy afternoon.
Okay. All right, then we'll be right back. When we return.
Hello.
Hi. Do you have a name?
Ava.
We sit down with Alicia Vikander and Golden Globe nominee Oscar Isaac, stars of the new critically acclaimed sci-fi thriller Ex Machina. Next, here on Arise on Screen.